Hi there folks, my name's Rich. I hope you're all doing very well. What I've created for you in Studio One is a macro toolbar called Pso Templater. It's fairly simple in terms of its construction, but the aim of this is to try and speed up the workflow in creating templates within Pso Classic. As you may be aware, within Pso Classic it includes strings, winds, brass, choirs and percussion. What I'm aiming to do with this macro is to give you a stage first of all, a place in which the sounds will live, a selection of the instruments that we can quickly navigate to here, and then the ability to pack those selected tracks to folders so that we can keep them organized. Additionally, once they're all created, we can save it as a template. And whilst we're still working within the song, we can filter those folders so that we can focus on any of the above at any one time, such as strings, winds, or brass. At any point, we can always filter them so that we can view all of the tracks in one go. So let's build a template. So first, let's pick a room. Shall we go with chamber? Okay. So we've created this effects send here. It's got open air on it and it's handily named chamber so that we can record this later. We'll add in some instruments. So we'll add in the violin, viola, cello and double bass sections. That's the cello and finally the double bass section. Now I'm a big fan of colouring things. So what I'll do is I'll colour these green just for now. It's not important, but it's something that I like to do. Okay, so we've added the string sections. Should we add some winds? Well, let's add a flute. Let's add a cor anglais, or English horn. I'd like to add some brass now, so we'll add some brass in there. And perhaps we'll just add in some French horns. And we'll add in a trombone section. So for the winds, what I'll probably do here is just give these a colour and the brass a colour too. Let's add some percussion and some choirs. I'll go with a simple R choir and I'll colour my choirs pink for people. Percussion, I'll add in an orchestral percussion and I'll colour those tan brown. Okay, so I now have all my tracks, and as you've noticed that as I've created the tracks, everything is already named for you ahead of time. Normally when you load an instance of Presence, it will name it Presence 1, Presence 2 and so on. So the idea here was to just cut down on the extra work that you'd have to do in creating a template. What I'm going to do now is select the strings, and from the drop down here I'm going to select Pack to Strings. I'll do the same thing with the flutes and the cor anglais and pat those to winds. I'll take the French horns and the trombones and I'll pat those to brass. Of course, although I'm only dealing with one track, I'd like to pat the choirs in case I add any more later, and then I'll pat the orchestral percussion to percussion folder. Now that I have all these packed, again, I like to colour things, that's entirely up to you. But let's go with this just for now. There we go. So everything's packed and everything's neat and tidy and all hidden away. If we go into the mixer, we can see that nothing's visible to us. But lucky, we've got the instruments viewer open to us here, and we can see that all the instances of Presence available to us, and we can also see what is actually on the tracks. And currently they're hidden because they're packed within these folders. One last thing to do though, and extremely useful, is just to select the little drop down here and select Add Bus Channel. And we can do this for each of them. And what it will handily do for us is it will route all of the channels and all of the instruments within that folder to its bus without any additional bus tracks required. If you're not seeing your send effects within the mixer window, there's a handy button here that says Toggle Sends. open parentheses mixer, close parentheses. Now we can see the sends. Another way of doing this, of course, is we could always drag up, but I just thought that would be a nice little touch. Okay, so how do we get this to work with the rest of it? Well, at the moment, we've got this chamber with open air effects on it at the moment, which is an impulse response. We're currently looking just at the buses at the moment, and this is probably a good thing. So what we'll do is we'll highlight all of the tracks and click the little plus symbol. And now we can see our effects chamber in the drop-down menu. So we'll select that. And now the effect is added to all of the tracks. The great thing about this is we can make adjustments to how much of the effect is sent back to the channel, or in this case, the bus. What if we wanted just to see the strings though? Well, we can filter those folders and we can just view the strings. The same with the winds, same with the brass, the percussion, and of course, the choirs. If we'd like to view everything, we can always select all. Because we're working with bus folders, we can always hide these manually inside the mixer at any one time. But as you can see, we've already created the template, and it's only taken a few minutes. With a little practice, you could have a template created in just a few seconds. You could then click Save as Template. And you're good to go for next time. So I hope this helps somewhat. Have fun with the macro toolbar. I'll post some links in the comments below. And yeah, enjoy making music. See you soon.